Welcome to the Dietitian Side Hustle podcast. My name is Katie Dodd, and I'm a nutrition entrepreneur. I spent 7 years as a side hustler before diving into entrepreneurship full time. Before making the leap, I was bringing in 6 figures through my side hustle. If I can do it, you can too. This podcast is for dietitians, interns, and students who want to be inspired to start or perfect the side hustle of their dreams. Let's do this. Welcome to the 79th episode of the Dietitian Side Hustle podcast, Raise Your Income in 2022. Today's episode is going to be taken from the Dietitian Side Hustle live show that streams in the Facebook group every Monday at 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. On Monday, March 7th, 2022, my business coach, Greg Todd, came into my Facebook group and shared all about this topic of raising your income in 2022. It was so good that I had to bring it to the podcast and share it all with you. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it in and enjoy, you guys. Welcome, you guys, to the Dietitian Side Hustle live show. My name is Katie Dodd, and I come live in this group every single Monday at 5:30 Eastern Time. And today, I am so excited to have a special guest with us. So Greg is my business coach. We've been working together, for 2 years, a little over 2 years now.
Yep.
Yeah. And I love bringing you in the group. And I know you have a really important topic today to share about raising your income in 2020. And I see that we have 5 people seven people are watching live now. Awesome. If you're here live, go ahead and let us know, that you're here, where you're from. And if you are watching this on the replay, go ahead and comment replay. So before I kind of hand it off to Greg, I just want to tell you guys about a little date in July of 2019. I happened to catch a Facebook Live in another group who featured this crazy guy right here. And I just want to share, sometimes we never know when we're at a pivotal moment that can be changing the course and trajectory of our life. And in July of 2019, when I watched a Facebook Live with Greg, I had no idea how much it would change my life. The information and knowledge that he is going to be sharing with you guys is really life-changing if you embrace it, if you put it to practice. And I am a testament of that, where, here we are just 2.5 years later. I've left my full-time job, full-time entrepreneur. So grateful that I get to be on this journey. So for those of you watching, this could be your pivotal moment. This could be the moment that is going to be the trajectory to change the course of where you are going in your career. So I just want to put that out there. So I'm so glad for you all joining. And Greg, once again, thank you so much for all that you've done in my life and for all that you do for healthcare, and just so grateful for you. So I'm going to hand it off to you.
Well, I'm grateful for you as well, Katie. If you don't mind, I'll just quickly tell them about the conversation that we had last weekend. So last weekend, Katie was here in Clearwater, spending some time with me and other people that are in our business, community. And on the Saturday, we went out for breakfast, and Katie and I were just talking, and I just said, Katie, the reason why you're going to continue to be successful is not because of me. It's because of the level of gratitude that you have, to having an opportunity to serve people. And I see it. I see it on your face. I see it in your mannerisms. I see it in your energy. I can tell you really love to serve people. And I think that's what we both love. We love to serve people, And she was telling me the story of someone that she met that was actually, she met from prior, but they were actually on the plane together when she was coming down here. And just how her face lights up when she's serving people. And yeah, she serves dietitians today. I serve all healthcare professionals today. But I'm just grateful to serve people. And whatever stories and whatever experiences I have and skills that I've learned that can help you all, hey, amen, so let it be. Let me continue to help you all. And it's just a blessing. So thank you, Katie, for being you. And thank you to those of you that are listening. Thank you for giving us your attention. I greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, and actually we have a lot of people on. We have 15 people. We have, let's see, Heather is joining us from Hawaii. Katie's from Hawaii. We have Jenna from Texas. Angela Laga's on.
Oh my gosh, Angela, it's my peeps. Okay, aloha, mahalo to my peeps in Hawaii and everybody else. Hey, I'm here for you. So let's get right into it. So there's a couple things that I think are really important for you all to understand. It's 2022, and things are so different, even from a year ago. And we thought, okay, a year prior to that, we're like, wait, it can't be any more different than what it was then. And then a year prior to that, we're like, whoa, 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 things are getting really different. Listen, you guys, things are constantly changing. But here's where we are in 2022, because I don't want to really go back to the past anymore. I just want to deal with present day issues. Present day issues is this. Number one, inflation is now not at 8% anymore. Inflation is now hovering closer to 11% projected this year. Meaning that in order for you, you might not even be happy with the current lifestyle that you have. But in order for you to even maintain the lifestyle that you may or may not even be happy that you have, every single one of you, as of today, should have been able to give yourself in the last 30 days an 11% raise. Number two, insurance is restricting us more and more and more. So for those of you that are like me, where it's like, okay, yeah, the money's an issue, but you know what? I think I can manage. I'll find a way to cut this out or cut that out, or, you know, maybe I'll just walk around with some Jesus sandals, like whatever you want to do. Okay, fine. But you have that pit in your stomach where you're like, gosh, I can't stand that I'm unable to be creative in the things that I want to be creative in. Number three, with everything that's going on right now with Russia, with the Ukraine, with government, with COVID, number one and two can't get any better in the foreseeable future. Like, are you guys getting me? Like, it's not going to get better. I'm not trying to say doom or gloom, but what I am saying is that there has to be a drastic change. There has to be a drastic change. And I feel as though most of us that are in healthcare have constantly settled. We just settle. I know for myself, I know from 2000 to 2005, 2000, late 2004, early 2005, I just settled. I settled because I'm like, well, this is as good as it's going to get. But there was this pivotal point, and many of us have had it, right? This pivotal point where something happens, and you're like, you know what? I'm sick of settling. Now, for Katie, it was something different than it was for me. For me, it was actually a Saturday. It was a Saturday morning. I had just finished working another 80+ hour week at work. There was no end in sight to the amount of work that I was putting in. I was also working with professional tennis players on the side. My wife was pregnant with our second child. She was very frustrated with me and my work schedule. And she didn't have her father in her life for a lot of her life. And she said that if I don't make a change with my work schedule, there's really just no point in me just existing as a like trophy father or whatever she called it, you know, in the relationship. She's like, I want a present father for my children, and I want a present husband in my life. And if you can't give me that, then we're going to have to make some serious changes. And for me, that was my breaking point. Like, it wasn't 11% inflation. It wasn't, what's going on with insurance. It wasn't that. It was that I didn't have the ability to actually change my life by making more money and then using the money to buy back my time. I didn't have that ability. So I said, well, I'm going to change it. And on the Monday after that weekend, I said to my wife, I broke down. It wasn't pretty, but I said to her, I'm going to make the change on Monday. And I'm going to tell my boss what has happened, that I need to repair my marriage, that I need to be present in the home. And I'm looking for one day off a week. And I will make it up by working 12-hour shifts on the other 4 days in the week. And my boss said no. And the next day I put in my pink slip, became an entrepreneur. And here we are 18 years later. And I have made millions and millions and millions of dollars. I've used that money to gain back freedom, freedom in the way that I do things, freedom in how I deliver myself to the marketplace, freedom in expressing my faith, freedom in my time, freedom in my finances, freedom to be able to help people in my community, freedom to be able to help people in my family, and really just being able to buy back my time. But all of that happened through raising my income. And here's the other thing that happened because of it. Because I was able to raise my income, it allowed me to always to also raise my impact and my influence. And both of those things are tied together, meaning that you're not going to raise your income without raising your impact. And you're not going to really be able to raise your true impact without also raising your income. It works hand in hand, y'all. And that's really what I want for you all. I want you all to be able to take control of your situation. And the reality is that most of us that are in healthcare have not been able to do so. Hopefully that's an intro for you there, Katie.
That is a great, great intro. And I love that. And, you know, I often hear dietitians tell me, well, I don't really care about the money. I don't care about the money. And I will say, I think for our profession, because dietitians are so underpaid, I think that we're almost default to like mentally prepare ourselves for like, oh, it's fine. It's fine. I don't need more money. But I do hear a lot of dietitians talk about wanting to make impact, wanting to, you know, create a positive influence in the sea of influencers who are putting out nutrition information that is not factual, that is harmful to the public. Dietitians want this. They want to serve people on high levels. And I really think deep down, if they dug deep, they want to make more money too, especially if they realize the time freedom, financial freedom, all the freedoms you talked about that came from it. So
yeah,
so good.
Yeah. I think that's such a huge thing, you guys. I think you just have to understand that there is width of impact and then there's depth of impact. Okay. And so here's the deal. You have to really get over like that thing that you're telling yourself there. If you all have ever, here, by the way, you guys can, for those of you that are listening live, if you've ever heard any of my content and you have found value from my content, just say value, below, because here's what I can tell you. I can tell you that that would not have happened had I not had the money. You guys, like, just think about this for a second. I was able to put out more content than any other healthcare coach out there. And I was able to do that for over a year for free. You think my family was going like homeless? No, I had money. I built a business. I built a business that was not dependent on my time. So because of that, I was able to buy back the time with the money. And then I was able to use that time to not only invest like in my kids and in my wife, but I was able to have so much time that I was able to invest in physical therapists initially. And then it moved on to dietitians and occupational therapists. That's how this happened. If I didn't make the money, I would not have been able to invest as much time as I did in Katie Dodd so that she can now invest in you all. This happens with money. Yep. So the only way we can make sure money is never an issue is to make sure that we never make money the issue. It's the only way. It's the only way. And so when I say width, I'm talking that when I was able to start speaking and start to learn these new ways and these new methods to be able to impact people, at that time, you guys, it was no Instagram. I don't even know if like Instagram was barely even around. So there wasn't Instagram Reels, there wasn't TikTok. It was Facebook videos. I think the live feature was just released. Look, I was able to impact a lot of people because I was able to take the time to learn those things so that I can impact people. That was with, right? So now I'm able to talk to people on these platforms and hit thousands of people every single week. And then it became thousands a day and all that other cool stuff, right? But then from the width, from the 50,000 people that you might hit in a week, look, there's going to create depth. There's going to be the people like Angela. There's going to be the people like Katie. There's going to be the people like Kelly's. There's going to be certain people that are going to take it and they're going to run. And they're going to say, you know what, I'm going to join that program, or I'm going to do this, or maybe they even go with somebody else, or whatever the case may be, but they're going to run with it. And they're going to say, I want my life to change. And then those people go on to impact hundreds, if not thousands of people. And that's the depth. And at the end of the day, I think everybody wants that. I think we all want to know that we have a purpose, and our purpose is bigger than ourselves. And that really doesn't happen. It doesn't happen without having some type of freedom when it comes to money, and not being totally tied to being to working for time for money. And for me, I believe in working solutions for money, and that creates a freedom, and the freedom allows me to help people, and I don't always have to worry about money.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. That's how it works, you guys. You know, and I can tell you this: if you can really adjust your mindset around this whole money thing, and just understand that the impact's not going to happen. It's not going to happen without money being exchanged.
Yeah.
You know, we have been put on this earth like for us to exchange value with one another. So in order for people to exchange value with us, there's certain value that I need from Katie, and there's certain value that Katie needs from me. But the relationship that Katie has with somebody else, there's certain value that I have already given Katie that she doesn't necessarily need from that person, but she can take another type of value, but that person needs certain value from her. This is how it works, you guys. This is how it really works. And I'm just so, I don't say frustrated, but I'm just sad that we were never taught this as healthcare professionals. Value is in the form of money. Value could also be in the form of time. Value could be, like right now, I have someone that actually helps cook meals for us, healthy meals for us at our house. That's value. Like for me, that's value of making sure I'm eating things that are actually, fueling my temple, right? I get value from that machine that you see behind Katie. That's the Peloton bike. That allows me to save time of having to go to the gym, and gives me the feeling of a community. So you guys, you see what I'm saying? There's so many different ways that we can exchange value, but you've got to know what value do you need from certain people, and then what value can you give them? Yeah. So when we say that we don't care about money, that means that we don't care about either A, giving value, or having value delivered to us. So we got to get over that.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest things that I will teach in the first day of the challenge. Is just kind of shifting your perspective around money.
Yeah. And, there's actually a question that Melanie popped in that I think you actually could probably address really good. So Melanie, she is a dietitian in Chicago, amazing dietitian, the kidney dietitian, and one of my friends. And she says, thanks for the great live, Katie and Greg. My heart really loves serving underserved areas and populations. I have a lot of internal conflict about building my business and charging what I'm worth when I know the population I really feel called to serve won't be able to afford it. If there is time, can we touch on this?
Yeah, that's a great question. There's I think one of the cool things is that you have a few different opportunities here, Melanie. Okay. I think number one is if that's what your heart really wants to do, and that's who you really want to serve, there's nothing wrong with that. Is there ways that you can, and you should be asking yourself this question, are there ways that I can serve that audience even more? And can I serve them even better than how I'm serving them now? And if you say yes, then the next thing I want you to ask yourself is how? How? See, Melanie, there's a couple different ways that you can look at this. You can look at this and say, hey, if I had more income, I could serve them freely without having to worry about the other aspects of life. That's one way. Okay, let's just say, you know what? Okay, I'm not going to make any extra income. Okay, well, then I want to present this to you, Melanie. What I would say to you is the following. I would say it's not the load that you carry that's the most important thing. It's the method in which you carry it. So here's what I want you to think of. If this is something that's near to dear your heart, how are you currently serving them? And if you're saying, I want to serve them more, is there a way that you could serve them that allows you to be able to carry the load of serving them? Something that fills your heart. But you can carry this load, you can carry it in a much more efficient manner. You guys, that's honestly that's a question I ask myself every single day. Everything that I'm doing, I never say, God, don't give me any more. I always say, Lord, please bring me more. Lord, here's what I ask for you. I'm asking for you to help me to be a great steward of what it is that you're going to give me and what you're going to give me more of. And then I will say, Lord, please show me how to carry my load better. Melanie, if you want that, you should get that. And there's many ways to do it. There's many ways to do it. I can say that for me, my first, main way that I brought value to the marketplace was when I became an entrepreneur was by having clinics. And what I used those, look, I loved treating, but there became a time where I was like, man, I don't really want to treat much anymore, right? But the truth of the matter is that I figured out how I could serve people more, how I could serve people better, how I could serve people more efficiently so that they would feel compelled to give me more value, money, in terms of me giving them more value, the service. And I then had a surplus of money, which then allowed me to fulfill out my passion project. For me, the passion project was serving you. For you, the passion project is serving those underprivileged families in your community. You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it still comes back down to how can I serve people better, whether that is that audience that you're talking about, or it's with what you're currently doing right now so that you can become even more proficient in it and you can actually make more income so that it can free up your time to be able to serve those people better. Hopefully that helps.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
All right. Any other questions for me?
Okay. I'm looking at the questions here.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Let's see. We do have lots of comment. I know Greg can't see the chat, so I'm hearting stuff as it's coming in. Lots of people are agreeing. They're saying powerful money and mindset allow us to have greater purpose and impact. This is good. Love that. Amen. Melanie said, I would think need the financial freedom to have time to help those people. Oh, yep.
Well, I'll tell you all this. I'm going to give you one main thing that I think is really important for you all to understand. We live in a value exchange world. Okay. This is how the world works. We are exchanging value with each other. If I exchange value with you, you exchange value with me. If you like the value that I bring to you, then you are going to give me back value. Okay. Sometimes that value could be in you hearting up the screen right now. Okay. Sometimes that value could be that you are going to share this out. Some of the times the value would be that, hey, you'll sign up for my 5-day challenge. Okay, look, whatever it is, it's value, all right? But the only way you're gonna do that is if I bring you value first. Now, here's the thing. That whole little principle that I just taught y'all in 35 seconds, they had 3.5 years to teach me that in school and they never taught it to me, okay? But that's the value exchange. Now, does that make sense to everybody? Can y'all just tell me in the chat? That makes sense, G. Okay, cool. So if that makes sense, then now let's talk about the value ladder. Let's talk about the 4 different types of value that you can bring to the marketplace, okay? So value number one is implementation. That's what we were all taught. Implementers are the people that actually do the thing. We're the ones that treat the patient. We're the ones that evaluate the client. We're the ones that are making recommendations for the client. As a registered dietitian, the majority of us are implementers. As a physical therapist, we're implementers. That's how we were taught in school. But in the value exchange world that we live in, that is the lowest level of value. I am not saying it is less than. I'm not saying that people that are implementers are not as good as the other people. I'm just saying that that's how it's been positioned in the marketplace. Here's the other problem with implementation. Implementation is physical exertion. So let me ask you guys this. I don't know if you follow any sports, but do you think that it's easier to have a longer shelf life if you are a linebacker in the NFL or if you are the coach? it's easier to have a longer career if you are the coach, the one that's using your brain instead of the one that's using the muscles. It's no different than us as healthcare professionals. Those of us that are physically exerting ourselves every single day, it's just harder to do. It's harder to do over a long period of time. That's why after you can do it for 5, 10, 15 years, but then you start to wear you down. So not only does it physically wear you down, but when it comes to the value exchange world that we just explained that you live in, you get paid at the lowest level. At this level, you get paid anywhere between minimum wage up to probably $150,000 to $200,000, depending on what type of specialty you do. Okay, then the next level is unification. Unification are the managers. Those are the people that oversee the implementers. So when people get upset that they went to school and they got a master's degree or they got a doctorate, they got a clinical doctorate in dietetics, okay, and all that stuff, they get upset that the manager at Whataburger makes more money than them. It's not because you're less than, it's because we pay managers and unifiers who oversee the implementers more than the implementers. This is just the value exchange world that we live in. Those people make anywhere between, $25,000 a year up to $300,000 a year, depending on what type of company you work for, okay? You guys, I stayed at those two levels for the first 11 to 12 years of my career. The last 10 years has been the skyrocket for me. So what has happened? It's because I went to the third level of value. That is communication. Communication is when you are starting to actually message to the masses to create movement. It's messaging to people to create emotion. I've been with you guys for the last 20 minutes or so. There's probably certain things that I've said that maybe I talked about the story with me and my wife and the struggles that we had. And can you all let me know if that moved you a little bit? Tell me in the chat section if that's the case. Okay. When I talk about the story of Katie and I at First Watch, having, about to have, breakfast, when she told me, and I saw the look in her eyes of how she felt when she was helping that lady with, getting comfortable with flying. I know it moved me when she told me that story. And I don't know, it might have moved you guys when I just told you that story about Katie. You guys, what I have done is I have just worked on this level of communication, this level of value. I've worked on it more over the last 10 years than I did in the prior 10 years. And then and that's not even the highest level of value. The highest level of value is creation and visionary. God put us on this earth and he made us in his image. And we know the first thing that he did was create. He created heavens and earth, right? Okay. And then when it came around to us, he said he created us in his image. So the people that are creating, the people that are making life better for our fellow man and fellow woman are the ones that get paid at the highest level. That's the reason why Elon Musk gets paid what he gets paid. That's the reason why the entrepreneurs that are creating new things get paid what they pay. That's the reason why the people that are making, what's that blankie thing that goes around? It's like this most simple thing. And things like, I don't know what you call it, Snuggie, a Cuddy, or whatever.
A Snuggie.
Okay. You guys, a Snuggie. You guys, that's why they get paid. You want to know if they sold that company for like $1 billion? It's the reason why. It's because they're creating. So here's the problem. The problem is that in healthcare, we were never taught to create. We were never taught to communicate. We were only taught to implement. But we're spending all this money, all this time, and all this energy, not only on doing it at the basic level in school, but then our postgraduate education, we're still just implementing. But it's the lowest level of value. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it is. And so for me, my income has 250 to 300x. I didn't say 2x. I didn't say 200%, you guys. I didn't say 2,000%. I said 250x. What is that? 25,000%? Like that's what my income has done strictly because I started to work on the higher levels of value. I just focused my effort and my energy on that. And I'm a guy that stutters. I'm a guy that struggles with his speech. But if you work at something long enough and you say, you know what, I'm going to start to follow a system I'm going to follow a framework on how to do this so that I can message to the masses. You will impact more people as a dietitian, and you're going to make a lot of money with it. So I hope that makes sense, you guys.
Awesome. And for the note takers in the group, I did write down the 4 levels of value in the comments.
Katie is the note taker in our group as well. She is a note taker. She is. I think it's really important for you all to understand, just understand value, and just understand that we're living in a value exchange world, and that's all it is. There's no reason for you to get upset with the associations. There's no reason for you to get upset with the government. There's just no reason for it. No matter whatever is going on right now, we still live in a value exchange world. And if you want to be able to impact more people, you're going to have to play at the higher levels of value. Okay. And you can start that today. If you guys want to learn from me on how to do that, I have a challenge that's going to be coming up March 21st and 25th. And I'm going to be teaching people how to play at these higher levels of value. And I'm going to teach you literally how I went from a $19 an hour physical therapist in 2000 to making over $1 million in a day. Actually, nearly 2 million in one day. And it's just based off of certain principles. Now, that might not be your jam, and that might not be your thing. And maybe you don't want to make, $1 million in a day, and that's fine. But I know for me, it's really important that I speed up my income generation so that I can spend time on other things in my life. And I want to be able to help a lot of you, and I want to be able to impact a ton of you, but I also want to fish. And I also want to take care of myself. And I also want to, ride Peloton rides with Katie. You know what I mean? I do. I'm just being honest with you guys. Like, tomorrow I'm going to Miami. I'm going to, my daughter is down for spring break. She's in college and she's down for spring break. And I want to be able to spend time with my kids. And I want to spend time with my wife. And I want, I want it all. I do. So you know what? If I do want it all, and if you all want it all, you got to do things smart. So work at the higher levels of value, learn, collapse your time, collapse your learning curve, and level up. That's it.
Yeah. And I think I shared with the community before. I'm not sure if I shared in the Facebook group, but knowing that I left my full-time job where I was doing completely implementation to moving into entrepreneurship, where I'm now at more communication and imagination and vision and creation and all of that fun stuff. And how once I left my full-time job at the VA, it took me 36 days to generate as much income as I did in an entire year as an implementer at the VA. So the stuff that Greg's talking about is totally true. It totally works, and here for it.
Yeah, for real. You guys, wealth has a need for speed. Wealth has a need for speed. So when somebody tells me, hey, it's $1 million, a lot of money, I say, well, it depends. On the track that I was when I was working at TJ Maxx, I was going to make $1 million. It was just going to take me 50 years. Okay. All right. So is that a lot of money? Working about 50 hours a week. I don't know, but making $1 million in 10 years is not so bad. Making $1 million in 5 years, that's pretty cool. Making $1 million in 2 years is even better. Making $1 million in a year, it frees up a lot of things. That's a big deal for a lot of people. Making $1 million in a month is really nice. Okay, I like that. I that's really nice. Making it in a week is actually really, really, really cool as well. You guys, I'll tell you something. I had some struggles in 2020. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I had some struggles in 2020. But the truth is that like I made $1 million in a week. So I was able to take off 4 months and come back stronger than ever. And without me doing that, I would not have been able to take care of Katie Doc. Like I've been an entrepreneur for 18 years and I took off 4 months. And the reality is that most people do not have the luxury of taking off 4 months. But when you understand that wealth has a need for speed, and we live in a world today where we can collapse the time in which we generate our income, it allows you to free up your time to take care of yourself.
Yeah. And I think so much of this stuff feels so like, what is this even possible? Because we don't learn any of this stuff in school. Like, I know no one listening here in dietetic school learned how to do these things, but we live in a whole new world. And the way that we could reach people, especially online, how much impact and money we can make, like this stuff totally is possible. So if your mind is blowing, you're like $1 million in a day, oh, what, Greg? It's possible.
Actually 1.9, but who's counting? But you guys, the reason why I say that, is because, I told you guys, my first job as a PT was $19 an hour. Okay. $19 an hour. I worked between 2 locations. I worked 6 days a week. All right. So I split my time. At lunchtime, I had to go 30 minutes down to the other side of town. And that's where I started. And by the way, $19 an hour, I thought I was balling. Okay. My first actual job was working with a newspaper company, and I made $12 in 2 weeks. It was a little bit less than 20-something cents an hour. So I'm saying that because I want to be honest and forthright that like I don't come from money. I don't come from wealth, and I don't come from knowing how to do it. But what I am, or what I have become, is I become someone that's moldable and that's teachable and that's humble enough to say, you know what, Lord, I don't know, but please show me the people that do know. And that's what has happened. So I say that not to flex. I say that just to give you all perspective of where I've come from, because I think I'm probably the guy in the room that has made the least amount, but I'm also the guy in the room that's made the most. So I hope that gives me some cred being on both spectrums and being the extreme on both ends, and saying that it's totally possible for you, but you got to do something different.
Yeah.
What else can I do to serve, Katie? What else can I do to serve?
What else? Does anyone have any questions? If you have them, go ahead and drop them in the comments here. Let's see. Cindy shared that her first job, she made $5.25 an hour.
$5.25. Okay. Shoot, I would have taken that too now. By the way, my first job, people's like, so where's your first job, G? Well, so my first job that was not under the table, but over the table was TJ Maxx, and they called me a receiver. Basically, I was a janitor. I was a janitor for TJ Maxx. And then the job that I made 12 cents an hour, 20-something cents an hour. It was all commission, and I was working with the Sun Sentinel, which is a newspaper in South Florida. So there you go. $5.25 is, either way, it's not ideal, right? You guys, $5.25, $3.25, 25 cents an hour. It's not ideal. Yeah. And I want you all to be in a better place. So there you go.
Well, I don't see any questions coming in, but we've talked about a lot of stuff. We've talked about why it's important to raise our income in 2022. We talked about the different levels of value and just so many good things. So for those people who are still on, and we still have, I think I saw about 25 people who are still on. And for all those people who are going to be watching on the replay, can you let them know if they're like, yeah, this is amazing. Tell me more. Tell me all the things. Can you tell them a little bit more about the challenge? And I'm going to go ahead and drop the link. Yep. And one thing I want to mention to you guys. So if you decide to sign up for this link right now, it's a wait list. Get on the wait list. There's going to be some goodies coming your way, some specials if you get on that wait list. But if when you do sign up for the challenge, there's a spot where you could put like, who referred you? Put Katie Dodd. If you put Katie Dodd, you're going to get access to a few things from me to help you as you go through this challenge. You are going to be getting access to the Raise Your Income dietitian community. So you can be in a group of dietitians going through this challenge all about raising your income together, because we work better together in community. You're also going to get access to my Create More Time masterclass. So this is a class that I'll be doing live with that group on how do we actually find time to do all these amazing things. Like, okay, this is great, I want to do it. How do we find the time? So I'm going to have a masterclass for you. And then finally, I'm going to be providing my Raise Your Income roadmap, because I do love me some notes and I want to really help make it easy for you guys to go through this challenge to get the most out of it. So I dropped the link above, but can you tell them a little bit more about this challenge?
Okay, well, the first thing I got to tell y'all is that here's the deal. It is my challenge, but personally, I would go through the challenge with Katie, even like I created the thing. I would still go through with Katie just because like she's like the most organized person like I've ever met. Like, oh my gosh, I just have to say this. And I love my assistant. Brittany's absolutely amazing. But y'all, if Katie just didn't want to serve y'all anymore, y'all, I'm bringing her on my team. I would just make her take notes and just keep my life organized. Oh my God. Okay. All right. Anyways, let's talk about the Raise Your Income Challenge. It's 5 days. It's 5 days. And in 5 days, we're going to teach hopefully hundreds of you how to raise your income. And when I say raise your income, I'm talking about not 2%, not 3%. If you beg your boss enough and you're willing to do some juggling acts and I don't know, hang off a tightrope, maybe you can get a 5% raise or something like that or whatever. I'm talking X. I'm talking about exponential. I'm not into the incremental game. I'm into the exponential game. We live in a world where we can exponentially improve our situation. I know I don't have 5 months with you guys. I know that I don't even have 5 weeks with you. I know that you all are busy. I know that you got a lot going on. So here's the cool thing. When you get really good at teaching something and getting people a result, you can do it in less time. And that's actually what people are looking for in the world. So I'm going to do this in 5 days. I did it last year. We had a 100% approval rating with it. Katie, do you remember at the end of it, the people were like, more, please. And they all signed up for my next challenge. Like, I don't even know what I'm going to do. And they're like, oh, here's the money, take it. So here's the deal, you guys. I'm highly advising you to sign up for the Raise Your Income Challenge. You can sign up for it at raiseyourinkomechallenge.com. Get on the wait list. Saturday morning, I'm going to be dropping the link for you all to be able to sign up. We will start March 21st to 25th. It'll be at 7 p.m. It'll go for about 45 minutes to an hour. If you know me, you know that I always over deliver. So it's going to, more than likely, it's not going to be, it might be a little bit longer than that. But look, I got to get it all in. And in 5 days, we're going to help you with raising your income. And this is how I do it. The first day, I'm going to really teach you all the principles behind what you need to understand. And this is called 2.0 because the first one was awesome, but I know that a lot of people from the first one are going to come in again. So I created a whole new set of principles that I want to guide you. It's just a different way to kind of look at it from the one that I did last year. That's number one. Number two is we're going to teach you the main habits that you're going to need to have in order to raise your income. Okay. There's certain habits, there's certain things that the majority of you aren't doing right now that you need to do that you can implement into your life. I'm talking within minutes. Okay. So we're going to go over that and I'm going to give you the tools on how I stick to those habits, how I've helped Katie do it, how I've helped so many others do it that have been able to exponentially increase their impact and their income. On day 3, we're going to be going through the business cycle and just understanding that if you were to master one of these 4 things that I'm going to talk about, you will be able to exponentially increase your income. But if you master 2 of the 4, you're going to be able to, I'm talking destroy it. And if you master all 4, you'll probably be 7 figures in a year. Okay. So we talk about that on day 3. On day 4, I'm going to teach you guys the 3 different types of business models. Whichever one you choose, it's going to work. But you have to understand the 3 different types of models that will potentially work for you. So whether you're somebody that isn't a side hustle or you want this to be a full-time business, just understand how to execute out the one that's going to raise your income, right? And then on the 5th day, I'm going to teach you all, especially for those of you, like I know there's a lot of you on different paths, right? So for some of you, it's like, hey, look, I like my job and I want to stay at my job, but I need to make a couple more grand a month. Okay. There's some of you that you actually have a practice and your practice is stuck and you need to be able to grow your practice so that you can actually build a team. And then there's some of you that's like, you know what? I'm getting started now and I need to start this right. I'm going to give you all different paths for all of you based on where you're at, because it is a little bit different. Okay. So that's what we're going to do on Friday. And that's going to be the whole challenge. And I'm going to let you all into my Smart Success Healthcare community for 30 days throughout the challenge. So not just for the 5 days, we're going to just let you all soak in that amazing goodness of these amazing healthcare entrepreneurs. And we'll give you all 30 days in it. So the people that are on a wait list will get the full 30 days.
Awesome. So yeah, definitely make sure that you get on the wait list, because you guys want to be the first to know when it is available to sign up. So Stephanie asked a question. Do we need to have our niche and blog biz established? So I would say no. I don't think they'd have to have their niche or business established at all. I mean, even if you're first getting started, like this is almost like, it's almost better to learn the stuff first before you even get started.
Right. And I think a little bit on day 4, I'll be talking about niche and how you all need to be looking at that, because that is a big part of how you're going to raise your income. So how do you actually identify that? We'll go through that on day 4. Cool.
Okay. Well, I do not see any more questions, and I just want to say thank you so much for joining us. My live shows are normally a little shorter, but I love having you on. So I like making this one longer. So I appreciate everyone who joined us, who commented. Again, if you are catching this on the replay, let us know you are here. And if you have any other questions that you can think of later, feel free to reach out and let me know. And yeah, thank you so much, Greg, for being on.
Thank you, Katie. I appreciate you and appreciate you all coming on. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Bye. Wasn't that episode a good one? I always love talking to my business coach, Greg. He just has such a way with inspiring people, motivating people, and presenting things to you in ways that maybe you never thought of before. So he talked about the Raise Your Income Challenge. And so if you didn't catch that link, you can go to raiseyourinkomechallenge.com. You can also reach out to me and just send me a message on, email, Instagram, Facebook. You guys know where to find me. I'm all over the place, and I can send you the direct link if you need it. Now, if you decide to share where you came from, so if you put in my information, put in, Katie Dodd, let them know I sent you, then that is an affiliate link. I do make a commission, but you're going to get access to some freebies to help you get the most out of the challenge, from our Facebook community to the masterclass I'm going to teach, and then also the roadmap to help you, with taking notes and guiding you through the challenge. So thank you guys so much for listening. I'm excited for those of you who have decided yes, I want to do the Raise Your Income Challenge. And I hope that you guys have the best week. As always, I'm so grateful for all of you who continue to show up and listen to the podcast. So wherever you are in your side hustle journey, whether you are just getting started, you're thinking about getting started, you are doing the thing, you're a full-time entrepreneur, just keep going. Keep your eye on the prize. You got this, my friends.